Happy Sunday. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining me today. We're waiting for our guests to come on. Welcome to Survivors, Jewelz. Happy Sunday. Hi. How is everybody? Okay. So we're just waiting for our guests to come on. I'm so excited for her. And we're going to hear a lot about her story and what really keeps her going at this point. So I'm so excited to have her on. I'm glad you guys are good. I'm good too. Happy Sunday. So I'm just waiting for our guests for this Sunday evening to come on. And then we'll begin Survivor Jewelz. It's another episode where we're going to bring you hope and inspiration. So, hi. Oh, my goodness. So, here we are. We have our amazing guest. I'm so excited. It is 7:04 now, guys. So, here we go.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Is the lighting
How are
okay? I was
you?
trying to get in a good spot because it's like, let me see.
Okay.
I think that's okay. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, hanging in there. A day in the life of a grandmom.
Oh, I understand. I'm a grandma too, so I get it. How old are your grandkids?
Messiah is 3 and Max is 1.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, how adorable. I know you're enjoying them.
I love it. I love it because I just have one daughter, so I wanted like sons. So now I got grandsons
Oh,
and a
wonderful.
son.
Oh, nice. Now, so let's see if you can do, look. All right, now I can see the connection was getting a little bit blurry. Okay.
Okay,
It's perfect.
Okay. Let me see if this is better. Do you like, okay, should I be in a little dimmer setting or, because I
Where
was
you're
by
at,
the window.
right? Yeah, the dimmer setting is perfect. Actually, right there is perfect, and you look beautiful. So
Okay.
that's wonderful. So okay, great. So I would love to hear a lot about you. Sakina Hadger. You are such an amazing person, and I'm so excited to share, for you to share your story on Survivors, Jewelz. And I'm so humbled and honored that you feel safe enough to share that story with us here tonight. So maybe let's begin. But before then, the phone is still moving a little bit on the other, so it's a little blurry. So maybe if we keep the phone still, if there is a way to kind of
Okay, so let me put
it
it
in a
right
stationary
here.
position. Yep.
Okay, let me see if that's better. Ah. Okay, 1 second. Let me just grab something.
No problem. And thank you guys so much for joining us. So I'm just talking to our guests while we get that perfect. It's coming along. All right.
Yeah, I'm not too savvy with setup like this. Hold on.
Okay.
This may be better. This may be better. Hold on, just sit on the couch.
Oh, I think so. Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's get on nice and comfy. Okay. Oh, amazing, beautiful, love it. So this is great, and I can see you even better. So that gives our viewers a chance to really see how gorgeous you are, and you obviously don't look like what you've been through. So that's right there a huge blessing.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
So can you? So I know a little bit about your story, but can you tell the viewers a little bit about you, and can you introduce yourself, Sakina, to our viewers, and tell us a little bit about you?
No, this is not happening. Okay, hi guys. Obviously, I'm new to all of this live stuff, trying to get it set up right, but I think we got it now.
I think so.
So,
Yep. Yes, I see you.
my name is Sakina Adger. I run a coaching business, and it evolved from, I would say, events. I started doing events, and I would always just like talk to people and inspire them, and they just was like, what are you doing? Like, what can you help me? And I'm like, I'm trying to help myself. Like, so it just kind of, I just took the balls by the horn and just said this year I was just going to go ahead and, talk to women in reference to a lot of different things that we'll probably get into tonight about what I've been through.
So what,
And I find that even though I may not be the polished public speaker, I still have been able to connect with women that were, maybe have gone through some of the things that I've gone through and really kind of, been helping them and elevate them. And, my background is in HR, so I kind of, put the business twist on it as well. So it's been going really, really well in spite of COVID, I just been
so
keeping it in prayer.
so to kind of summarize a little bit for our viewers. So your name is Sakina Hadger, and I understand that you have received the President Obama Award.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about why you received that award? And I guess and then we can go and kind of segue into even more about who you are. But I think that was a very key award to win, and such an honor. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
It was. And again, not knowing that you really have something to give back to the world. I mean, I was selected and I was like, me? Like,
Right.
like, I don't understand. And it was for leadership and civic participation because I would, go to different events and talk to women. And it was off camera. It was never anything that I was on the stage or whatever. And I would do a lot of things in my hometown, Philadelphia, with the school district of Philadelphia, going in and helping single, well, obviously single, but teen moms
Oh,
in
wonderful.
different programs and helping them with financial literacy and business things. And really, honestly, I always look back and say, how was that worthy? I'm not, I wasn't a veteran. I wasn't like saving elderly people. I was like, and then I had to start accepting because you are a leader. You might not feel like, these polished leaders, but you've obviously done something that was worth getting an award for. But that was kind of like starting the darkest moments of my life. So that's why I was questioning it so much.
So
And,
tell me a little bit about that. I mean, I know that, this is a survival, story in essence. So, and I know your story is really geared around a family tragedy that occurred. So can you tell us, you've come from being an award winner, a leader in your field, and a professional, as well as helping others while still working a full-time job and finding the time out to give your time to help others along in their journey. So you've already have established yourself, and things seem to be going really well. And now all of a sudden, this family tragedy hits. Can you tell us about what this family tragedy was and how it affected you and those around you?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a two-part to it. I did give Brittany a little bit of the background on when I came to my lowest point, but going just a little bit before what she knows, which is the birth of my grandson 4 months early. Okay, so prior to that, I was engaged to someone that works in the legal field. And now this is where it started to my life just started to tumble. Okay, so I was engaged to someone, and like this person, I felt like I was going to be the trophy wife, so I started to feel uneasy about our relationship, even though we were engaged. It's just
Mhm.
like it was always this pedestal thing, and I don't want you to work, and
Oh.
I just want you to cook the dinner and have the house clean and present, the events and things like that. So,
Mhm.
so I started to really question it, and then
Right.
I decided that I wanted to leave that relationship.
Okay.
Um, okay,
Because it
so
sounds like it was pretty abusive.
it was very abusive, but I didn't, I don't know, you're in love sometimes and it takes a while to click.
So
But
you had this abusive relationship, and at the time you didn't really understand the full scope of how abusive it was because, you were in love and you were kind of like, okay, this will maybe get better, and you were hopeful. And so now you've decided you're leaving this abusive relationship. And how is
so
that?
I left for a couple of months, and we had scheduled our holiday party, and I had all the decorations, I had everything ready for it. But when we broke up, I was like, you're gonna have to handle that stuff, by yourself or whatever. And my daughter was booked to cater the event.
So hold on, there
So
was an event. The event was, so after you
this
broke up,
right
what
after
happened?
we schedule our holiday, our Christmas party.
Okay, so
Okay.
after you broke up, you have this holiday event that you guys usually go and handle. But you said since you've broken up, I'm not doing this part any longer because we're no longer together.
Right.
Is that right? Okay.
That's correct. And then he begged me, like, I can't do this without you. My daughter was supposed, was slated to be the caterer. So
Mhm.
he's like, I can't do it without you. And me with my good heart, I'm like, okay, all right, I'll just do this thing for you, and that'll be it. So the night goes, my daughter sees a woman cut a piece of the cake and smashes the rest of the cake down. So she's like, Mom, I'm
And
ready to go
at your holiday party.
at our holiday party at
So
his house.
some woman takes a piece up for herself, and then she takes the entire cake and smashes and ruins the cake so nobody gets cake today. Nobody
Nobody,
gets cake that day.
she thought no one saw it. My daughter saw it. She
Oh my
smashed the cake.
goodness.
Yeah, she smashed the cake. And this was at what was supposed to have been our house. It was his
Okay.
house, but what was going to be our house.
Right.
Um, so my daughter's like, I'm ready to leave, Mom. I don't feel comfortable. Like he's disrespecting you or whatever. Because my daughter never saw any disrespect. Like things that he would do, I never, like I would hide it and I wouldn't talk about certain things.
Right. For a lot of times when you're in abusive relationships, you don't feel safe to speak about those types, especially with your child, because you're thinking you're the mom and you're
Right,
protecting your child. So
right,
it's kind of hard to be on the flip side of that. So yeah,
right.
that's interesting.
So the night just kind of, I said, okay, so let's just serve the rest of the food and just be gracious, whatever. Serve the rest of the food, wrap it up, and we'll leave.
Hmm.
Uh, so when she asked for her paycheck from him, he got really nasty. This is not his child. This is my child. Um, he got really
Your daughter asked for,
her paycheck for catering the event.
oh, because she was getting paid for it. Okay, so that's the part that I missed. So your
Yes,
daughter was being paid to cater this event.
yes.
Okay.
So she asked for her check was, she was ready to go because she
Hmm.
saw that, and he was just acting like really crazy. He was just, I think he was just showing off, and it was a lot.
So what do you
And
feel like was the crescendo? Like what do you feel like was what really made it a tragedy?
well, what made it a tragedy is what happened at the end.
Okay.
He got really, really crazy. He grabbed my arm, twisted my arm in front of
Mhm.
individuals, okay, in front of individuals. And my daughter had stepped out to take some of the items out of the house to put in the car and everything. And he grabbed my arm and like he grabbed it so hard that when he was done, I had like bruises and stuff in my arm.
Mhm.
And when I pulled myself away, he was like, "You're not gonna," and then he like stabbed me in my eye with his finger. Okay. which
Mm-hmm.
resulted in a black eye for me. It resulted in a black eye the way that he did that. And when my daughter, when she came in and like she, saw like the commotion and everything that was going on or whatever, and he was like, "Get her out of my house." And he threw me on the ground. So obviously I reacted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hit him back, did not know that I cut him on his face. Okay. And him being a lawyer for a number of years, him being he actually pressed charges on me.
Did you have to go to serve time?
No, I didn't serve any time.
Okay.
When I went down there, they didn't believe half of his story because he was, you could smell the alcohol on him. You could smell that he reeked of alcohol and he was out of control. And, he was like, "I want her arrested." Like, the police
So
officer.
what do you feel like that, what do you feel like that changed within you, that whole situation?
Oh,
As
I
far
was
as like long term as a woman now.
long term. I was just finishing my master's degree. So it stopped me in my tracks for certain things that I felt like I was worthy of going up for,
Mm-hmm.
because I've never been in trouble in my entire life, and a person that I thought was, that loved me would actually harm me in that way, knowing the hard worker that I am, and just coming off of that award and everything, knowing the
Mm-hmm.
hard worker that I was. And, when I went into that courtroom, I mean, they threw it out, but
Right.
the fact that it was even on me, it comes up as an arrest. It does.
So, all right. When you have these types of challenges, because it almost seems like you were in a situation where it long term you didn't realize the emotional currency that was it took, what it was going to really take from you in this relationship. You were giving more than what you thought, and you thought you were going to get the same amount back, and it was going to even out, and you were left at this basically this emotional deficit, this feeling of not being enough, and not being poured into enough in your
Yeah.
relationship. So you felt as though, and after being in these situations where you have somebody who's being physical with you, and really kind of, it sounds like, making you not feel worthy. And I think when those things come up, it changes us as individuals, because you realize, hopefully at some point, that our worth does not revolve around any particular person, and no
Yeah.
one has enough power to be able to destroy whatever it is that you have going on and what God wants for you. So regardless of whatever the situation it is,
Yeah.
we give people power, certain powers, but it is our power at the end of the day that we have to take in consideration, because it sounds as though you were just really just giving too much, and then not realize, and then you have drawn other family members in, and now they're mentally into a situation where they really have no business being part of, because it's really between you and that person that you're in a relationship with. And it becomes, I think, when you get into abusive relationships, it becomes a family tragedy because of that, because now you have your daughter involved, now the grandkids are around, or someone is involved, family on either side, or friends that are in a
Mm-hmm.
violent, in the midst of a volatile situation, and they don't know which way it's going to go. It could, and yours in
Yeah.
particular, turned into a violent situation, and now you have your family member not knowing what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
did you, now one question I have is, did you go back to the relationship after the fight?
No.
Okay, because so many people do go back after these relationships, and that really brings more strife within the family, because now
Yeah.
they want to defend their family member, and
Yeah.
it makes it really hard to do so when
Yeah.
the person is continuously going back to that
Yeah.
dangerous situation. They're running towards the fire as opposed to running
Yeah.
away from it.
I
So
definitely didn't go back after that.
yeah.
I mean, the verbal and mental abuse, yeah, I kept going back. But then when it got to that,
Mhm.
I was like, I felt as if like he ruined my future. He ruined my life, and
And
you
no,
know,
you
and
know that's not true.
you know,
You
and
know.
the thing is, I am just really starting to believe that, and it's been 5 years. I'm literally just starting
Mhm.
to believe it. I'm just starting to date again. Um, it took a lot out of me, and I think my next um the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go up for my dream job. I'm going to put that resume out there, whether they ask me about that incident or not. I'll just have to explain it. But it stopped me from even putting the application out there.
I would say that um, when you have those tough times, you've really found a way to still break out of that mental prison, right? Whether it took 5 years or whether it took 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. You have made it to this point, and now it's moving forward, upward, moving,
Yeah,
and regardless of how long, it's where you're at right now. And where
yeah,
you're at right now is in a much happier, safer place. And this is what happens. Again, it becomes so much when you're in an abusive relationship, because you don't realize the residual effects that can occur not only within yourself, as you were saying, 5 years
yeah,
of not feeling confident and feeling like yourself, and having this proverbial fog around you,
yeah,
as opposed to being in a situation where you're thriving, where you're at right now.
yeah.
Now you can finally get to that point where it's like, okay, I can breathe again. I'm
And
ready to
then
thrive.
COVID hit. I was
Right.
ready to do everything, and then COVID. I'm like, really, COVID? When I'm
Right.
ready to break back out, because when I tell you, I went down a dark path. Like I was planning a suicide, and no one knew
Mm,
it.
right. And I'm so sorry to hear. I'm thankful that you're here with us. And so many people are at that point to where they do feel like that is the only way to stop that pain.
Yeah,
And so I'm so, so, so thankful that you're here today and that didn't happen. You didn't take those steps, because you are loved, you are needed. But those types
yeah,
of relationships can really throw you into a fog to where you feel as though your only way to escape is to get away from yourself. And so
yeah,
that's why it's so important to really um, learn to figure out what is within you, that
yeah,
that it is that you are um, allowing these individuals to have so much power over you, right?
yeah.
Why did this happen? A lot of times we ask ourselves, because some people are just not amazing people, right? And we
Right.
understand that we might want them to be amazing, and they may have amazing moments, but consistently they may not be have the same heart that you have. And so now you're in a situation where you're like, I thought that you were, you had the same heart, and you had my, you know you had my back in essence. And now you're in a situation to where
Mhm.
you feel very let down, and you've
Yeah,
allowed your I believe you've allowed your feelings of wanting this relationship to work so bad to overshadow who you are as a woman,
yeah,
who you were before this person came into your life, because you were a whole person way
yeah,
before you met this person. For the short amount of time, whatever it is that you had with them, they should
yeah,
not have so much of an effect on you, because
yeah,
you were already whole way before they came. You were already, who you were, and you were already
yeah.
established. So it's like, who is this person? Who
I
could
was
this person
I
be?
was the poster child in my family. I was the go-getter, the person that worked since 11, taking care of everybody in the family. And, I was a training district manager before we got together. And then he was like, I don't want you working. And, obviously, I'm
And I
traveling
say
with
this one
him.
thing about women is
Mm-hmm.
making sure that you have something on your own, and
Yeah,
not relying on another person to drive you through life's decisions, and especially
yeah,
when you're in a situation where um, you know you have so much, and the person makes you feel as though they're adding to your life, but they're really taking away,
Yeah.
right? And they've almost pulled the wool over your eyes. They've done some magic trick to make you feel dependent upon them, right? Now it's like, oh, I don't have to work. You may feel like it's a relaxation, but now you realize the other work that needs to be done to compensate for you not having a 9 to 5, and it's
A whole lot of
the
work.
juice isn't worth the squeeze at the end
Yeah.
of the day,
A whole lot of work.
um
Believe me. I would never. I mean, I went through that, so I can offer advice to other women that are possibly going to go down that road. I,
yes, you
I
can.
tell them, do not ever stop your life for a man. I just don't care. I don't care if he's, you know, a prince and he has, racks of money or whatever the case is. I'm never going to stop my life for a man, because like you said, now
Right.
he's making you feel unworthy because he's doing everything, taking care of you or whatever. And that's where the manipulation comes in at.
Right, right. It's almost like, and I always say it's like something to where is um, somebody feels like they're buying you. They've bought you. You're being, as if you're a possession.
Yeah.
And they feel like the money compensates for the things that emotionally they're not willing to give.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people may settle for that, that doesn't mean
Hmm.
that you have to settle for that, because you realize that, hey, that's not the type of relationship that works for me.
Yeah.
You need something more. You need something to where you especially someone not putting their hands on you, right, or making you feel unworthy because you aren't following their rules and regulations. That's just one of the it's a classic abusive type of relationship that really, again, permeates all throughout not only your life, but it permeates throughout your family member's life, to make it a severe tragedy when they have to be involved in an abusive relationship that they're not in. They're not laying up with the
Yeah.
person, but now they have to be involved and have to
Yeah.
deal with all of the things because of the decisions that's going on within this toxic and abusive relationship. And it makes it
Exactly.
extremely hard for everybody involved.
Exactly. And my daughter, she was what, 24 or 23 or 24 at that point.
Wow.
And, you know, and I was like, I didn't want her seeing that, because she's never seen me in situations where she has to question the man that's in my life. And I didn't want her to see that type of relationship, because I didn't ever want her to ever walk down a path like that. And
Right.
that's why when I started to see things in him over time, like it just was like it wasn't adding up. And I'm just like, this is not, he's nasty and rude to people all the time. And
Now, that's a good thing that, I'm glad you just pointed that out, not to cut you off. Now, did you notice he was nasty and rude before you moved in with him, before you took the leap?
he would make me and my family laugh all the time. They
But
loved him.
was he nasty and rude to people before or
He
no?
was he was very nasty to waitresses and
Okay, that's,
people
yeah,
pulling in
that is
stores.
a telltale sign.
Yeah, and it just started to happen too much, and this is why I left, because
Mm.
I'm like, why,
That's
like,
part of it, when you're having
yeah,
to deal with
and it
that
started.
toxic energy.
And then like when we went shopping, like I couldn't pick out my own clothes. He would go shopping with
Oh
me.
my.
He would pick out the actual outfits. I had to look and see if this was something that he bought, because I'm like, oh my God, is this something? Because I rid my closet of a lot of things. It might be one or two pieces or something that he possibly could have bought, but I was like, ugh. Like I couldn't pick out my own clothes or anything. Like he would have to
Very
pick it for me.
controlling, very,
So
very controlling. Now,
it
now, even now, like you said, you're just starting to get back into who you were. Um, how do you feel when you tell your story? Do you feel anxiety? Are you at the point where, because even now, I don't want to, we don't want to bring up more things that's going to bring anxiety. At the same time, it feels like you're healing as you're sharing. The more you share, the more it seems like you're healing. That's the kind of feeling that I have about you. That's the vibe that I get. It's like
I
the more
think
you
so,
share.
because earlier when I was, thinking to myself, and it was like I haven't thought about this in a long time, because I couldn't stop thinking about it for years. You know, it was just always there in my mind, and it was very stressful. So today I started thinking about it, like you said, when I was getting dressed or whatever earlier, because I had to a quick lunch or whatever today with my aunt. And I was sitting here and I, like you said, I started thinking about it and I felt myself getting anxious. I did.
Yes.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Because
Right.
are the words going to come out? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like I was going to be able to do it.
Right. Right.
Like even now sitting talking to you, it is, I feel good. I feel good. I feel like I have some of my power back. I do. You know, it's
Hallelujah.
yes.
That's what I love. That's what we love to hear. Okay. That's what we love to hear. Okay. That's all that it's about. It's about taking your power back. And
Yeah.
like you said, the more the more that you are speaking about it, the more you're releasing this energy, this uh, anything that had remnants or any strongholds on you are being released as you speak in the name of Jesus. Because I had to say that because God is speaking, and I'm telling you, it's it's powerful when you come into these situations and we meet people. We don't know why we meet people, and we ask ourselves, what is God trying to put us together for? What's the purpose?
Yeah.
And I truly feel like, this was a time for the strongholds to be released out of your life. Okay, there was
I believe
something
so
holding on.
too.
Yeah, there was
I
like a
believe
little.
so because when Brittany, like she asked me and I didn't even question it. I was like, okay. And I'm like,
Mhm.
did I really agree to this? Like, I was
Yeah.
asking myself, did I agree to do this?
Because
And
God wants you to release that. God
I
is pushing you to do
really think
that.
so.
And it's
Yes.
time for you to move forward. This is your time. This is your season.
Yeah.
There's no more time to think back of what it could have, should have, would have been. It's time to move forward and move forward not only with faith but with vigor, okay, with excitement, because this is the time to get newly excited about all the blessings that are about to come upon your life, come upon your family's life,
Yeah.
especially because they went through so much. And they saw you go through so much, right? And they know what it took to bring you down, and they're seeing now how you're moving up further and further and
Yeah.
further, and you're an inspiration. You're an inspiration now, and that is the big change, I think, too. I have a feeling that this inspiration shift is happening because they're now seeing you in a different light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel they're
I
seeing
said
you
this is my
differently.
year. I said
Yes,
this is my year.
yes.
And I'm moving past fear
Mhm.
and things that I can't control, in the past. And I'm just moving forward with my life because it has, when I tell you, it was so stuck. My mind, like just thinking about it, like I would get sick and dizzy. And I
But see,
knew that this was my year. I'm like, this is it. I'm cleansing, I'm cleaning out the garbage, the baggage, or whatever, and I'm forgiving myself for even,
mm,
staying down so long, for not having the strength to rise back up. But, I'm here now.
right, because
And I
this
know
is
I'm
your
not
life.
going
This is your life. You are in control of your life. Beyond God telling you what you need to do and lighting a path before your feet, and you were waiting for God to light the path before your feet. You were
to.
lost looking for something, and He's giving you that vision. Now, I think you were looking for a vision. You were in that fog, and now He's showing you through the trees all that can be for you, because we are over the
Yeah.
earth, right? We are here.
Yeah.
We're here to have dominion and power, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to have a strong mind as well. And so
Yeah.
now you're coming back into that strong mind, and here you are claiming victory. And I'm so excited. I'm ready to just see how I can inspire you, and you can inspire me, because this is that journey that you take with loved ones, with friends, with girlfriends, with people who want to see you win. And I would
Yeah.
definitely want to see you win. I truly feel your power. I mean, for you to have already accomplished all that you have accomplished, and then still be able to come and say, you know what, I've been through this, but I'm still going to give God the glory and still move forward. That right there is a strong person, is a strong woman. So I
Yeah.
commend you.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And, I draw from like the strength of a 12-year-old, from
Mm,
something that happened to me at 12 that I survived. And, so I always would pull her back out like, she survived.
right.
You're gonna survive. You are her. You're gonna survive.
That's right. Making
Yeah.
your little me proud. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Looking back at yourself and saying, what would she have done? Because a lot of times we seem like we had a lot more boldness as children than we
Yeah.
had sometimes as adults, right?
Yeah.
We've
See,
had
that's
we had so
and
much beat
then
out of us.
because I'm
Yeah.
like, I mean, children, they are resilient. A lot of things sometimes children go through a lot, and when they rise up and pull themselves up, you're like, wow. And then you're an adult and you're sitting here in pity, and I just had to, you are still her. You are still her,
Right.
and you are going to survive just like
You're,
she did.
that's
She
right.
fought to be here, and you are going to fight to be here as well.
That's right. And no man, do not let any man on this earth make you
Never,
feel like you are not worthy, period.
never.
Because we all
Mhm,
came here in the same
mhm,
way. Nobody's better than one another. Okay. We're all
mhm,
here in the same accord. So, we all just pray for grace, of God's grace. Other than that, what else can
mhm.
we ask for? But to put somebody else on a pedestal and not make sure that you're taking care of yourself, uh, we know that that is to the detriment of everybody, not only yourself, but everyone around you. So
Yeah.
I love that. So can you tell me a little bit about what are your upcoming projects? What do you have going on now? I know you said some things that are now first moving away, coming into fruition, but I know COVID's been a little monster. So
Oh
has
Lord,
this
COVID has
been
been something. I'm, I'm just happy that I'm able to function through it because my family has lost 11 family members since March. We have
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
two. We have a funeral tomorrow. We had a funeral last
Mm,
Monday. 11. So the fact that I'm eating, and I planned the funeral last week, so I'm just like, the
mm.
fact that I'm even still pushing, it's like, whew, because it's been a lot. It's been a lot to just kind of say, I'm tired. I got to stop, working towards my goals for a minute and just sit down or whatever. But I still been working towards my goals. Like I said, my dream is to be a professor. Okay, so I am applying for a professorship as we speak. So fingers crossed on that one. I mean, that would be that's my life goal. That's my life school
Now,
right
what
there.
would you like to teach as a professor? What
I'm
would be
gonna
your study of choice?
leadership, business, and
Okay.
leadership. Yep.
Okay.
I've taught a few classes at Cheney University before. So
What
um,
classes? I know you're in human resources too, so you
yeah,
already have part of that development strategy already built
yeah,
within. Because human resources, oh my goodness,
yeah.
it's definitely a challenging career path. You know,
Yeah.
so
I
so that's
well,
awesome. I love that. Now, for us, we'd love to make sure that we keep up with you and follow your journey. I would personally love to make sure I see you get that diploma and in essence to be that professor that you love to be, and see you up somewhere teaching a course
yeah,
or two or three or four or many, and to do the things that you've set out to do.
yeah,
So I'm super excited about your journey. I'm super excited about all that is coming your way, regardless of the down times we've had in life. We
yeah,
understand that resiliency is what life is truly about, right? We
yeah,
have to be able to go with life's ebbs and flows, regardless of the situation, regardless of what's being thrown upon us. There's
yeah,
nothing that we can't conquer, knowing
yeah.
that God has our back, understanding his word, following up on his foundation,
Hmm.
and really standing within his truth. So I'm so excited for you. And
Thank
how can
you.
people find you on social media and else?
I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram. Is my name up there on the
Where I'm going to tag you at the end, but just for the people, um, so you can be reached and connected with at Sakina Hadger,
Yeah.
and that is at SAKINAHADGER on Instagram. So connect with Sakina Hadger on Instagram. We thank you so much for coming on Survival Shoals this evening and telling your story. And I love spending time with you. You have been such a charming guest. And so I love to keep in contact. So definitely let's see how you're doing, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Oh, Don, did you want to leave a couple words for people?
I would just say that, push yourself, because it's always a rainbow after a storm, always. So, and I had to hold on to that because I loved rainbows as a kid, and I will always just look for them. And I knew that, when it was dark, the sun would always shine again. So, and I just, kind of fantasized my way back to life as an adult.
I love it. I love it. That's all ties into having that vision. And one of the things do you have a vision? Now, I know we said we're going to wrap up, and now I'm like, hold on. Now, do you have a vision board?
A vision board?
Yes.
I do have a vision board, but I'm being
Okay.
very careful with it because it's really powerful. And if you don't be very specific about what you want, those things will come, but it won't be what you actually want. So I had the man on there, and I didn't, I didn't put him in an actualized way. Like, I need him to be spiritual. I need him to love God. I need him to do this or whatever. I didn't put that on. I just put a man. I want a man. I just put a man up there, and that's what came, and almost destroyed my life. So, be very, careful and know what you're asking God for, because as you think, so shall you be. When you speak those things, they actually have power. So
Amen. Amen. That is so true.
No men are on there. All the little, pretty girly things are on it, but no men right now.
Well, thank you so much for being so strong, for being so vulnerable with all of us, for sharing your journey. I think that what you're saying is so accurate when you talk about having that specific information on a vision board. And I really, I feel like one of the things of having a vision board should always be, unless you have yourself together, why are we praying for another person to come and join your circle? Unless they're part of your team to help you in essence, and vice versa. And I think that's a big thing of also the timing. You may want these things, which is great. You could put it on there, but if you don't have yourself together, people are praying for partners, and they haven't themselves together to be able to accommodate a partner, to be able to love the partner, to be able to be able to even to pour into anybody because they haven't poured into themselves. So a lot of times that's why you said it's so important to have that specific information on there, so know what you're getting.
And I had so many men trying to date me, and I had to tell them, like, right now I'm not in a good place. I'm healing. I wouldn't probably be any good for you. And they would still be trying, but they would still try. But I'm like, I know what I need for me, so I can't right now, because I don't want to bring anybody into my, my world that wasn't, like you said, put together and in a good place and all of that. So, but now I'm getting ready, and I was like, oh, thank you, COVID. Now I was getting ready, but now you got to do it virtually, right?
Yeah, I really kind of feel like I'm one of those people who I feel like sometimes we ask. People are looking to complete themselves all the time, because God created, us to be in a partnership. And I think that, but sometimes it's a timing thing, and we're not always utilizing the proper timing when it's time to find somebody. We're looking at, well, this just kind of happened at this time. And, sometimes it just seems like, you fall into people, right? But there's there's always a path that you can take, and different doors. It's almost like, a video game, right? You have all these different choices of which way to go, but each one has these specific consequences. And right now, it seems like in terms of anybody who doesn't have themselves fully together and ready to be in a relationship, I see no point in dating. I don't see the point in people dating. It's a waste of people's time. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I don't see the point of it, because
Yeah.
you haven't even taken that time out for so many people to just love on yourself, to figure
Yeah.
out who you are inside, and to figure out what your likes are, what you don't like, what you fully kind of stand upon your own and have your own things going on. So whereas if
Yeah.
somebody else is brought into your circle, then they're brought into your circle, and you kind of try to mesh things out. But there's still so many, you're similar, there's similarities. You're not constantly headbutting,
And I had to wait until I built myself back up. I had to wait till I felt I was accomplishing my goals, and and I wasn't going to ever have to. I'm not saying that it's not nice for a man to, do things or whatever for you, but I knew that I needed to be able to do all the things that I wanted to do for myself, because it didn't go well the last time. So
right. And
like,
honestly, when a lot of times I think too, people want people that aren't even, I see people who want the CEO of XYZ, of something, multi-billion-dollar person, and they haven't even taken any initiative within themselves to do any self work, to be able to even have a conversation with somebody who is operating on a very high level of energy. You know what I mean? Like it's all about energy. So a lot of times we're looking for something to where is even the energy is not balanced. You're looking for somebody who's not even who can't keep up with you, or you can't keep up with them. Right. So finding someone who's you're equally yoked with is so important. And so that's why it's like, all right, let's get ourselves together and make sure that we're where we need to be at, so we can attract what it is that we want, as opposed to attracting what we need, so it's a huge difference. I love that you've changed that whole thought process around too. You know what I mean? Like you're grasping something like, hold on, I know what I'm capable of. I'm strong. I can do this. And you're not being distracted.
Nope.
And
I can't
she's gorgeous, you guys. You see, she's amazing.
I can't afford to lose myself anymore. I can't afford to lose myself anymore. I found myself again, and I can't afford to lose myself. And
Amen. I love it. Well, thank you again, and you guys, make sure if you missed this, or catch the replay. But we're gonna leave you with the last bit of information, which is make sure you connect on Instagram with Sakina Hadger, SAKINAHADGER. Connect with her on Instagram. And thank you. You've been an amazing guest, Sakina. I appreciate you being so vulnerable and sharing and transparent with us this evening. And I pray you have an amazing night. And I look forward to keeping up and seeing how you're doing in the future.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.